Yes guys, welcome back to the Mids MB channel. I hope all you guys are having a great day. And as you can see by the title, we are reviewing all the action from the Premier League last month in about 10 minutes or less. So without further ado, let's get started.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Techno.
Every day I'm shuffling. Every day I'm shuffling.
For this video, I'm going to split up into three main topics. And for topic one, I will say this is lessons learned. So what have we learned from the first month of action in the Premier League so far? The first lesson is that Haaland is still a goal-scoring robot. I don't know how he did it. Back-to-back hat-tricks, 7 goals in 3 games. And bear in mind, this is a City team that usually when Rodri is not playing, they tend to lose. Haaland, De Bruyne, everyone is ticking. Savio looks like a Brazilian Mahrez. They look really, really good, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm scared. Now you might be asking me, Mids, why are you so scared? The reason I'm scared is because City, of course, yeah, they usually win the league, but they usually start very, very slowly, and it's only up until about October, November that they really start clicking into second gear, third gear, and then from January onwards, it's just gear 6. But they've started really, really well. Like, really well. With the likes of someone like Arsenal trying to finally topple City, with Liverpool trying to go back to being title contenders, I don't know, man. This City team is looking like they don't give a toss about what those two teams are trying to do. They're trying to win a record 5 in a row, which has never been done. Never been done. The next lesson we learned is that Klopp's departure doesn't seem to be hitting as hard as we all thought it would. Arne Slot, former Feyenoord boss, became Liverpool boss this summer as he took over from Jurgen Klopp after Jurgen Klopp stepped down. And a lot of people thought that, that rock and roll football, that heavy metal football, how is Arne Slot going to transition the team from that's been used to playing that for the last 8 years or 8 or 9 years into how he wants to play? And the transition seems a bit seamless. They're still playing that rock and roll football, but with the added measures of playing up from the back, a bit more possession heavy, Liverpool are looking really good. And in the month of August, they did not drop any points. They had the perfect slot. They had the perfect start to life under Slot. Next lesson we learned is that Newcastle were just suffering from injuries last season. Now, what I mean by this is that I think a lot of their performances last season, and people are saying, they kind of dropped off, reality kind of hit. I just think a lot of their main hitters were injured, and now Tonali's back from his betting suspension. Now in August, we did see them come up against Tottenham, and Tottenham did play really well, but ultimately Tottenham weren't as clinical as Newcastle, and Newcastle came away with a victory. Now, is it going to be a similar season to 2 years ago where Newcastle almost finished third? I don't know. It's looking like it's going to be tough for those top 4 spots and just for the European spots as well, which leads us into our next lesson. The European fight this season is going to be an absolute dogfight. Now, when I say an absolute dogfight, I'm not talking about no little chihuahuas, poodles. I'm talking about full-blown German shepherds, mastiffs, huskies, hounds. They're going to be hounding for that top 4 spot. Now, of course, you're expecting, City and Arsenal, and we'll say Liverpool to go into the 3 teams that are going to finish first, second, or third. In what order? Who knows? But then from 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and I think 8th this season as well, there's a lot of teams that can go into the mix. Now, for the rest of the European spots, we've got the likes of United, Tottenham, Villa, Newcastle, who I just mentioned, looking very, very good. We've got Chelsea. We've got even Brighton looking really good again. Those are 6 teams for not that many spots. Not to mention also the likes of West Ham rebuilding as well. Brentford looking kind of good. Obviously, it might be a bit extreme to say, European spots, but Crystal Palace had a good end of the last season and they've started well as well. Who knows what could happen this year? Another lesson that we've learned is that a trophy looks like it's just a bandage to cover a cracked wall.
What?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now, what does that mean? A bandage can't clearly cover a cracked wall or even heal a cracked wall because these are two completely different issues and it's not reflective of each other. And I'm talking about United. I'm talking about the fact that they won the FA Cup against City, thinking, oh yes, off the back of that and having a great window. And they did have a great window, but the problems are still there. That loss against Liverpool was embarrassing. I'm not a Man United fan, but I felt kind of sorry for them because I was like, Liverpool, after a while, just started toying with them. We even saw Szoboszlai, instead of shooting in the box, he was just making people dance and cutting here and cutting that way. And it was like, well, it's another training session. Oh, wait, no, we're at Old Trafford. This isn't a training session. I think this is the first team that's actually needed an international break after 3 games. I think they just need to refocus, go back to Carrington, and Ten Hag, I hope the team comes back better up until the next international break, but who knows? Now, with the month of August in the Premier League, fixtures don't necessarily tend to tell the story for the rest of the season. It's the first sort of games after pre-season. You've had the window, additions are still coming in, you're getting used to things, and it's really from about September onwards that we start to see, okay, where can certain teams line up? Where are teams going to write their stories, and where will stories and dreams be torn apart? And for other teams, such as newly promoted sides, Ipswich, Southampton, and Leicester, this is a chance to capitalize on that sort of instability or, playing off the cobwebs from the bigger teams and really secure some early points to help with the relegation battle in May. Now, the second part of this video is called VAR Exposed. Now, when I say this, in the month of August alone, there have been some questionable VAR decisions, and it's not even just VAR, it's the referees as well, it's PGMO, it's all of them. Now, luckily for us football fans, we have semi-automated offsides coming in from the end of this international break. We've seen it in the Champions League for about 2-3 seasons now, and it works like a gem. Why the Premier League didn't, add that to their roster of things to do, who knows? But they've done it now, so, let's give them credit where it's due. But we need to do something about these referees because they need to be held to account. They need to be made aware of these mistakes, and these mistakes just simply can't be happening in the best league in the world, or so they call it. Now, of course, I can talk on maybe the smaller talking points in terms of, Mazraoui's tackle on Gakpo, was that a red card? Dunk's supposed handball against Ben White. But I'm gonna focus on 3 main decisions that simply made me go, what the The first one. Now, I was lucky enough to be at this game, the season opener, Arsenal versus Wolves, and there were 2 very questionable things that happened that day. Now, obviously I was in the stands, I couldn't really see in real time exactly what had happened, and I think none of the players could have, and maybe even the referee as well, especially because he was quite far away. But this is where VAR needs to intervene, because Christian Mosquera, he needs to be studied. He needs to be locked up and interrogated, actually, not even studied. He needs to be interrogated as to why he thought putting your hands on another player's neck whilst he's on the ground is okay. Because as far as I'm aware, that's serious harm to another player, that should be a red card. We saw Casemiro get a red card against Will Hughes for making it look like he was choking him out, but really, he was scuffing him by the collar. So again, consistency in these decisions really need to be kept. Second instance, same game, same perpetrator. For some reason, after Jesus lost the ball and I think a free kick was given, Christian Mosquera decided to give Gabriel Jesus an early colonoscopy. For some reason, I have no... I can't explain it. I don't understand what's going on here. Now, I'm not necessarily calling for that to be a red card, but I can't lie. If I was Gabriel Jesus, I'd want to knock him out because, bro, that is you're not putting your hands where the sun doesn't shine. And it's just very disgusting. What the hell are you doing, man? So I'm not necessarily calling for a red card, but at least a yellow card be like, bro, I don't even know what you're trying to do there. Just hold this warning in it. If you do something stupid again, I'm going to send you off. And that's where I was expecting VAR to intervene and be like, what on earth is going on? Now, people might say, oh, it's just defenders' tactics, stepping on toes or maybe, pinching and whatever. But there's a difference between stepping on someone's toe and trying to, You know what? I'm not even going to give a metaphor. Now, for the third instance, it's funny because Sky Sports obviously show football, they show cricket, but they also show WWE. But they have never ever showed, up until Bournemouth Newcastle, they've never ever shown football and WWE on the same pitch. Now, for some reason, Joe Linton clotheslined the goalkeeper Neto, who is now Arsenal. But yeah, decided to clothesline him when he was running out after picking up the ball, and nothing happened. Absolutamente nada. Now, you could say the referee didn't see this, but it was clearly in his line of vision. And then you could say, okay, well, you know what? The referee didn't pick it up, so, VAR must have looked at it and, I don't know, they thought they were seeing SmackDown versus Raw 2008. Why Joey Linton was not sent off? I couldn't tell you. I think this is a much deeper issue because it's not even just about, little mistakes and whatever. These are really season-defining mistakes and mistakes that, I guess, for certain teams that are chasing either title glory, survival, or even just getting into Europe, little mistakes in games that, should have been a red card or shouldn't have been a red card, it can cost them their season. So I just hope after the international break, things are made clear, not only to the players, but to us fans as well, because we don't hear what's going on in VAR up until a couple of days later when Sky decided to put McDermott on ref watch and talk through all the decisions and get the likes of Stephen Warnock and all those other guys to talk about it. But the game's done. We don't care. We really don't care. Now, the last segment on this video, we're calling this the award show. Also, a quick side note, be sure to subscribe so you can join MB United. This is a team of football lovers, football fanatics, and obviously casual fans as well. Everyone is welcome. Join the team and I'll be handing out captaincies, vice captaincies, linesmen, referees, all sorts of roles to our community. So make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell so you know exactly when I upload. And yeah, let's get into it. Now, the awards we're going to be covering for the month of August, we're going to be talking about the goal of the month, Premier League Player of the Month, and Premier League Manager of the Month. Now, of course, you can go onto the Premier League website and vote and then, wait a couple of days and see if your vote was right or wrong. But here we like to keep it a bit entertaining. Now, the Premier League would have probably announced the winners by the time this video comes out. So it'd be nice to know. Comment down below, guys, if I have gotten it correct or if I'm a bit way off, or who you even put for Premier League Player of the Month, Manager of the Month, and who scored the best goal of the month of August in the Premier League. Now, our contenders for Goal of the Month, we have Kovacic against his former side, Chelsea, when City beat them 2-0. We have Yves Bissouma when he scored that absolute thunderbolt against Everton when Tottenham swapped them 4-0. Swapped? I was going to say twatted them, slapped them. It's the same thing. We have Cole Palmer's beautiful dink against Wolves when Chelsea steamrolled them 6-2. We have Jared Bowen against Crystal Palace. We have Liam Delap scoring his first goal for Ipswich Town. We have Sugawara for Southampton. We have Bellegarde from Wolves, and we also have Luis Diaz from Liverpool. Now, I wish I could show you guys a whole reel of the game and whatnot, but they'll take it down for copyright. So I'm gonna just probably get a 5-second clip as I'm talking about it. If I don't, then I'll probably put a link below down to the Premier League website so you can watch the goals there. But for me, I think I'm going to give the goal to Yves Bissouma because he absolutely, on the edge of the box, just slapped it, crossbar and in. And to be fair with you, goals that go crossbar and in, there's just something else that's just a bit more yeah, I don't know. They're just absolutely amazing. But obviously, shout out to Palmer, that lovely goal against Wolves. Diaz's goal against Brentford as well. I don't know. I'm gonna say Yves Bissouma. Now the awards are done. We've given Yves Bissouma his credit for that absolute thunderbolt against Everton. Now we're moving on to Player of the Month for August. Now for the month of August, when I saw the fixtures, I was licking my fingers because I knew I was in for a treat. We had United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Brighton, Newcastle, Spurs, games that would just give a bit of excitement. Even Brentford, Crystal Palace. But the nominees are Haaland, Mbeumo, Cole Palmer, David Raya, Bukayo Saka, Mohamed Salah, Danny Welbeck, and new signing for Aston Villa, Andre Onana.
And Andre is not even my name, mate. Do you know what I mean? Go on.
Now, I'll put the stats up on screen for you guys to see. Salah had 2 goals and 1 assist. Bukayo Saka had 1 goal and 3 assists. David Raya kept 2 clean sheets and, of course, won 2 games, drew 1 when they did concede to Brighton, ending up in a 1-1 draw, that controversial game. Andre Onana, 2 goals as well. Danny Welbeck, 2 goals, 1 assist. Cole Palmer, 1 goal, 3 assists. I can't lie to you. These are some good stats, even in Mbeumo stats as well. However, I alluded to it before, and personally, I think it's unfair because Haaland is absolutely a goal machine, but he is the winner of Player of the Month. He has to be because back-to-back hat-tricks and 7 goals in 3 games. If you don't give him Player of the Month, it's a fraud at this point. Honestly, he seems like he's unstoppable. He seems even sharper than his first season where he broke the goal scoring record. So who knows? He might even break his own record again this season. Now, last but not least, Manager of the Month. We have Fabian Hürzeler, new Brighton boss, youngest Premier League boss, I think, ever, and youngest probably top flight boss in history. I need to double check that, but he's really, really young. I think he's like 31 or 32. It's crazy. And then we also have Pep Guardiola, Arne Slot, and Mikel Arteta. Now, only 2 of these managers have gone undefeated in the month of August, and those 2 managers are Pep Guardiola and Arne Slot. Mikel Arteta and Fabian Hürzeler both have 2 wins and 1 draw under their belt. Funny enough, the draw was actually against each other, but I think I'm going to give it to Arne Slot because I think he's done a really good job so far. He was under a lot of criticism in the summer transfer window because he hadn't made a signing, and then he finally brought in Federico Chiesa from Juventus, but I think, you know, not doing any business and not rushing to do any business. Of course, they tried to get Zubimendi and he said no, he wants to stay in Spain. But I think he's done a very good job. Again, coming off the back of a complete era under Klopp where he really defined Liverpool Football Club, really engaged with the fans. It's a very big mantle to put on and replace. And me personally, I think he stepped up to it and he's done really, really well. 3 wins, not to mention a convincing win under, you know, fierce rivals, maybe not in recent years, but fierce rivals, Manchester United. So I think for a new manager coming into a new league, picking up from a very, very successful era under Klopp, I think he's done a great job. Pep Guardiola as well has also done a great job. 3 wins. They haven't dropped any points as well. But I just want to give it to Arne Slot because he's the new man in the Premier League. Now for the month of September, if you thought August was good, September is looking even better. In the month of September, we are going to see some great football. We're going to see some great action and potentially some season-defining results because for the likes of Arsenal and Manchester City going head-to-head again so early in the league, I don't know. If Pep gets a 1 over of Mikel Arteta, will that dampen his squad, or can Mikel Arteta get another 1 up over Pep Guardiola and actually say, no, we're here to win the league? North London derby, who's coming in stronger? Tottenham against United and versus, you know, I'm excited for the Premier League next month, and you guys should be as well, because I'll be creating this same review that I've done for the month of August, only for the September, before October, November, and so on and so on and so on, until we get to May and we can do a full season review of how the Premier League shapes up. You guys let me know in the comments below. What do you think we're going to see in September? Is there going to be more VAR mistakes? How do you think the semi-automated offside is going to be? Long story short, I want to know all your thoughts about not only last month's action, but this month's action as well. Some predictions, and let's see, will I be right? Will you be right? Or no one be right? But that will be kind of upsetting. And who knows, maybe some players who we thought were not going to have great seasons will start to define their seasons in September. And, you know, if you do want to go into more depth, I think personally, you'll really like this video where I talk about 3 wingers, 3 specific wingers that should really have a great season, because last season, mate, they were off it, completely off it. So check out that video and I will see you guys when I see you. Don't forget to subscribe to join MB United. Peace.